Listen. If you are an American who believes there is a God, then you probably believe that America is still the greatest nation on earth. Hopefully, you also recognize that we need a moral, spiritual revival before a political revolution can be planted in fertile soil. It just makes sense. Are you with me? Please subscribe to Daily Tea at www.dailytea.us/subscribe. How should America fight Islamic terror? Commentary by George Rogers Clark. By now, the whole world knows what happened in Paris. Terrorists accomplished their purpose. They terrorized a city and put fear in the hearts of people around the world. In fact, it was so bad that it must be compared to the slaughter of Christians in the Middle East that happens almost every day. It should also be compared with the violence that Israelis face at home, every day. Foremost in the minds of Americans is the question, how do we stop it from coming to America? Let's not forget that it already has come to America. September 11, 2001 saw the deaths of approximately 3,000 at the World Trade Center and the Pentagon. There has not been a major terror action on the United States soil since that day of infamy. Perhaps we should pat ourselves on the back. However, nothing we have done has diminished the will and capability of Islamic terror, here or around the world. I am, and I have been, quite certain that Paris-style attacks will occur in the USA. They will happen whenever the terrorists are ready, unless we act soon. Notice I did not say something like, when we let our guard down. Our anti-terror agencies and people have done the best they can. They are the best in the world. However, because they have been restrained by a president and his administration, our guard has been down for 7 years, and counting. There are things that should be done that are not being done to the best of our ability. The excuse is the protection of religious freedom. That's bull, but more on that later. As I watched the reporting from Paris, late into the night and early morning, I tried to keep my natural, empathetic emotions in check. I tried to focus on what the experts were saying would be the right response for America. How would they suggest we fight Islamic terror? I am not an expert, but political ties or career concerns do not restrain me. Furthermore, since I do not agree with multiculturalism or religious pluralism, I do not have to walk a thin line. In fact, I think I will put on a big old pair of brogan boots and walk rudely through the flower garden, disrupting the peaceful order of things. What? Does it sound like I am about to offend some liberals or kill some of their sacred cows? Good. Do you think they really give a flip about religious freedom? Go stand on a street corner near a liberal enclave. Hold a Bible in your hand. Bow your head in prayer. See how long it is before they start trying to offend your religious freedom. Don't get me wrong. Liberals are not the cause of jihad. Root-level evil is the cause of jihad. But defending religious freedom for Islamists is a favorite tactic of liberals to advance their own agenda. They disregard what they know to be true. Islam is not a religion. Islam is a political ideology created by a criminal madman, Muhammad. It falsely claims to be a religion. Its purpose was, and is, to unite a people against the people of the one true God for the sake of power and accumulation of wealth. It has worked well for them since about 700 AD. Muslim terrorists have been a thorn in America's side for about 200 years. When Thomas Jefferson was president, the United States Marines were formed to defend our commercial seamen from marauding Muslim pirates along the Barbary coast of Africa. The freedom of exercise and expression of religion is guaranteed by the First Amendment. It does not provide a right to murder, mayhem, and the cultural jihad known as Sharia law. So how do we prevent a Paris-style attack here in America? How do we prevent another 9/11 here on American soil? First, let me say what I think we should not do. Do not put hundreds of thousands of boots on the ground in Syria, Iraq, or Afghanistan. There is no standing army of bad guys there to fight. Do not send an army to fight a shadow enemy. It would cost billions upon billions and not stop the terrorists who are already in America. Remember what I said to start this. We must diminish the will and the capability for jihad in America. Here we go. Conspiracy to subvert the liberty of Americans is a serious, federal offense. That should give us authority to take the restraints off all the United States anti-terror intelligence and operations. If we do not already know the name and address of every potential terrorist in America, gather the intel, now. Every wealthy Muslim in America is a potential supporter of jihad. If he has ties to Khair, Muslim Brotherhood, etc., then he should be watched closely. Gathering better intel, without White House restraints, will identify the potential terrorists. Operations based on good intel will diminish the capability for the enemy to engage in jihad. Let's approach the operations discussion by using examples. In example 1, if a wealthy Muslim on the watch list has a huge home, a 5-car garage, and 3 cars are always parked in the driveway, get a search warrant. Don't pussyfoot around. Get a warrant, because we are dealing with national security here and we cannot fail. In the unused portion of that big garage, you may find some of the following. A big cache of weapons, many of an illegal type. Boxes of untraceable the United States currency to be used for purchases, bribes, and the many essentials for an insurgency. Dozens and dozens of brand new, unused, throwaway cell phones, ready to be issued at a moment's notice. Take away some of the weapons, their cache and communications, and you have hurt their capability. In example 2, if observation of a mosque and its clerics shows that there is potential that it is conducting, training, or supporting jihad, get a search warrant and go in. The mosque might also be warehousing weapons, cache, and communications devices. Additionally, you would likely find literature, DVDs, or CDs and other information distribution materials whose purpose is to incite and train for acts of sedition. Sedition is another serious federal offense. Put them out of business. Close the mosque, too. In example 3, if there are young Muslim men frequenting a mosque that is under suspicion and observation, then track and gather intel on them too. If the intel reveals ties to radical groups or financial support by any group known to support jihad, then place the man under close scrutiny and be prepared to perform a search and seizure operation. Make an arrest if he has broken laws. Again, take away some of the weapons, their cache, and communications, and you have hurt their capability. Hit them every day, everywhere you can. Hit the head, the organizers, trainers, suppliers, and financiers. Put them in prison. You will really impede their progress to organizing and initiating any major terror operations. Such impediment, over time, begins to reduce their will. Someone will say that my idea does nothing to prevent lone wolf attacks, especially those that find their inspiration on the internet. Lone wolves are a special case, but there are 2 things we can do. First, give the NSA special, foreign, and domestic authority to search and destroy those websites. Second, instead of all the efforts at gun control, let our government encourage and enable law-abiding citizens to be legally armed and prepared, in every state. Legitimate citizen militias who help train and inform other citizens could be a big help. Law enforcement cannot be everywhere all the time. Responsible Americans can help take up the slack. I have no hatred for peaceful Muslims who are in America legally and are as appalled by jihad as we are. If Paris-style jihad attacks ever become common in America, they are at risk too. Let us hope that more and more of those will take definitive stands against jihad and be part of the solution. If they remain silent, they are part of the problem. Let me repeat. I am not an expert. The experts already know more about the ideas I just shared than I know. However, how much have they been restrained by the president and our watered-down laws, courtesy of the liberal narrative and agenda? You see, there truly is a difference. You and I know that the Declaration of Independence created a nation based on certain unalienable rights, God-given rights. We know that the Constitution followed the Declaration by several years and merely codified the life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, granted by God, that the Declaration declared. On the other hand, most liberals, I did not say Democrats, want to forget the Declaration of Independence. And, they want to believe the Constitution is a living document that does not restrain their desires. Well, their desires for multiculturalism and a secular society now puts them, and us, in jeopardy. There is only one true God. It is not Allah. Muhammad is not our prophet. Not all of Islam is a religion of peace. Splitting hairs over the truth and tenets of Islam will not stop the 7.62mm AK-47 rounds from piercing flesh. Making nice with the practitioners of radical Islam will not stop the bombs from exploding. Here in America, we need a new government that remembers that the first responsibility of the government is national security. Liberals, who think the government's job is utopia building and giving them license for licentiousness, are wrong. Their time has expired. It is time to act in the interest of national security, not in the interest of evil's new world order. Thank you for your time. George Rogers Clark. www.dailyt.us